Good morning. Okay, so I'm not gonna go in here deep again because I just hadn't had a chance to. Today, this morning anyway, is the morning because it's really hot still during the day, but you can see they really tore it up. This is the cleaned up version of what was in here. I've got to get these cut back down basically so that I can get under here and clean up. Because I have rock crust, an edible type of rock crust, and they scattered it everywhere and it will root everywhere. And I don't mind it in the paths and on the edges, but I don't want it all up in the beds. So, not gonna really get into that again yet. Hopefully I'll take care of that today. Chickens are tearing up the ground, so my Babington leeks are kind of being exposed as they're coming up because the chickens are being feisty. I did get to go to, also, we moved, that rose is gone. I put a new rose here. It's called hot chocolate, I think, or hot cocoa. It's kind of a red orange. I'm pretty excited about it. But anyway, one thing I did do yesterday that I was happy about is we got a bunch of native plants from this plant cell. And so we planted them back here. All of these, right? And then this is the pink passion fruit vine. So there's a rough rosenweed, a caryopteris, dark night, I think, a white phlox, a really purple phlox, supposedly. We'll see if it's really as purple as they say. Some scarlet catchfly or Celine, Georgia savory is here. This is a snake herb, which will spread here, and it's got purple flowers, and then that is the pink passion fruit. And then this is a lucerne blue-eyed grass. It has like bigger blue flowers, so I'm gonna plant that along the edge. And then I've got to get in here hopefully today, and clean up some of this mess that the chickens made. But anyway, in this bed, the beans have died over here, but some of the broccolis are making a comeback. The rest of the beans look okay. I'm probably going to leave this bed as is for now. I can see two of the broccolis that are just toast in here, but one back there, that one's good. There's one in the back there that's okay. So that's 3 broccolis. And the cool thing is, like, I'll get a head, but I'll also get side shoots if the winter is mild here. So I'm okay with just having the 3. I wish I had more, but it is what it is. This is where I have planted a bunch of seeds along with some plants, right? But you could see, right, that there are seedlings coming up. So I'm really happy. Maybe you can't see that far back, but I'm really happy that that's the case. So hopefully everything I planted here are like winter, kind of overwintering, because we have a pretty mild winter here. So I hope that they will just kind of tough it out as long as we don't get like a really cold winter, which happens sometimes, right? The chickens have made a hot mess out of this area. One of the things I got that I'm pretty excited about is, excuse the mess, this is a Peggy Martin rose. They can get really big. They say 15 feet, but I've seen these be like for 30 feet. Like, they're big. And they're pink and they're beautiful and they're hardy. So I planted this here yesterday, and the hope is that it will grow at least halfway point on this arbor. So that's my hope. We'll see how that goes. The zucchini, since I cut down the peppers, have started putting on flowers. They still look kind of puny. I don't know if we're actually going to get anything out of these this year. I'm not really going to be that upset if I don't. I kind of gave up on squash anyway out here because it doesn't do well. I have cleared out this bed and I left my tool. So I'm going to take some of the rabbit poop and urine and stuff and put it in here just to fertilize the bed. And then I'll cut these lemon basil plants off and lay them across the bed because those seeds will drop over the winter. And then in the spring, I'll get basils. So lemon basils, which are really nice. I don't think I'm going to have the greens I want this winter. This bed just really, it came up sort of and then just didn't. Like, I can see some spinaches, I can see some chards. And it's too late really to reseed because we're already in the first week of October. Well, I could give it a shot, but I wouldn't be banking on getting any of that. So, and like, none of my garden centers are actually carrying spinach or Swiss chard for some reason. it's just collards and broccolis and cabbage. And I'm like, we are a mild winter area. Like, all of this stuff is still completely valid. But anyway, if I see some Swiss chard, I'll definitely be getting some, or some spinach, so that I can try and have some this year, this fall, and over the winter. For a good majority of the winter I can have spinach. So I'm kind of frustrated, but it is what it is. So this is popolo. It's a hot weather cilantro alternative, and I was reading the best way to preserve this, because I won't get it to flower before it dies, is to preserve it in oil. So I'll probably take this, because when it dries it loses a lot of its flavor. So I'll take this stuff, I'll harvest it, blitz it in some sunflower oil or some kind of like less flavory oil than like olive oil. That's too strong of a flavor for me. And then I could do it in water too and make little water ice cubes. That's a possibility as well. Anyway, I'll figure out what I'm going to do with that, and then I'll do it. At least these seeds have come up pretty reliably. There's also some weed seeds I see coming up, but I mean, I'll tackle that when they get a little bigger. So I will at least have some mustards, which is what most of these are. And happy about that. Just really disappointed about the lack of spinach and Swiss chard. Like, that's bugging me so much. Anyway, this guy, I don't know. It's a ground cherry, and it's actually started putting on like new lanterns, right? Hopefully that's not a bug already in there. But anyway, I'm gonna let this one roll until the end of the year, and then I'll break it down. I'm about to yank all of these beans up, because Hubs is going to put some rabbit urine and poo in this bed to fertilize it, and then we're just gonna, when I get some leaves, I'll cover both of these with leaves, and then those will be put to bed for the year, because the carrot seeds did not really come up like I was expecting. Let's see, I got eggplants. I'm still getting eggplants. I think I need to harvest this one today, and I'm really happy about that. I've been pulling out this sedge grass. Not sedge is when I see it. I got to come back in here and cut back all of these sweet potato vines. We have got to get these sweet potatoes harvested. And okay, so fun fact, we were pulling out, I'll show you later in the same video. We're cleaning up another bed, and we got actual sweet potatoes, and they had been in the ground way less time than these. So it's time. We're gonna harvest those. Probably not this weekend, because we're both kind of tired and busy, and Hubs has to work today, but probably sometime this week coming up. So I am really discouraged that only one of my potatoes has come up. So much for my fall potatoes. Oh, there's one back there. Right there. So I don't think I'll be getting fall potatoes, but maybe I will have some Christmas potatoes. And at the very worst, I'm sure they'll come back in the spring. Like, I'm not gonna sweat it too bad. Oh, these chickens have tore up my backyard. They really have tore up the backyard. Okay, but I try to cage them now, and they're really loud when I try and put them back in their coop. So I don't know, we're gonna have to, hopefully the neighbors will handle it, because it's gonna be loud for a while. It's actually looking really good. You can see some snails in here. I don't really see all the guppies, but I'm sure they're just hiding because it's not been really cold or anything yet. So I'm sure they're just kind of chilling. It's early morning still. So I have actually got some tomatoes coming in on these plants. So these, I will let these roll until frost is what the plan is for that. And then here, I'm gonna mix this potting mix in with this to try and lighten this soil and get the soil level up. And I'll put my cuttings from my blackberries and my figs in here and try and get them to root before the winter. And then if they come back in the spring, I'll take them out, put them in pots, and give them to my neighbors. Really happy to see the Babington leeks coming up nicely in this bed. A little disappointed at the lack of germination and really any kind of growth of the poppies or chamomile. It is what it is. The raspberry I put here has put on 2 tiny little leaves. We'll see if that comes up. That is a freaking crepe myrtle growing up out of that. Because there's a crepe myrtle tree right here. I have to yank that before it gets too big. So I have gotten, and I've still got, right, some tomatoes. I'm really happy about these tomatoes. They clearly have some blight coming on them, but I'm gonna leave them. We're gonna see how many tomatoes I get before frost. This bed was cleaned out. This is where we got our sweet potatoes yesterday, and that pic is on my Instagram. It was a decent little haul for a bed I didn't expect to get anything out of. But dude, look at these. Look, oh my gosh. I'm so excited about this sugar cane, like you don't even know. Really excited. So these are some calendula and some celery that I'm going to try and plant in this bed. Along with, I have some potatoes from the spring that if they're not dead in the bag, they're in brown bags, brown paper bags. If they're not crappy looking in the bags, I'm going to put them in here deep down, try and get these to overwinter in the ground, and then hopefully they'll pop up in the spring and give me potatoes. We'll see. It's just kind of a mess back here because I was cleaning a lot out yesterday. So these are the turnips. A little bit spotty in some areas, but for the most part, like, I'm pretty happy with the amount of turnips we're going to be getting. So, and also it looks like maybe last year or the spring I missed some elephant garlics, because that's one and that's one. They do put like some, I don't know what to call them, but they're little bulbs, that, like corms I think is what they're called, that come out from the bottom. So maybe that's what those are. I have no idea. Anyway, the raspberries that I planted here, still looking good. Right? So, and the zinnias are still hanging on. They're getting some powdery mildew, so we're probably gonna yank those soon. But like, I'm leaving flowers as long as I can leave them if they're still in decent shape. I have gotten in here and harvested again and cut back again. I'm actually really looking forward to these grapevines dying down so that I can try and manage them. This one will be a lot easier to manage than this one, because this one's just got so many tiny little, it just is a lot, I don't know how to explain it, but it's a lot fuller of a grapevine, so it's a lot harder to get. Hey, what are you doing? Yeah, I don't think you're supposed to be in the chicken coop, huh? I don't think so. All right, anyway, and so after harvesting, right, the vines and all the things, both of those are chock full. So in a couple weeks, they'll drop down again, maybe even in a week. And I need them to, right? I need those to drop down because we're gonna harvest all of those sweet potato vines that were like over there, and that will fill this up and then some. We will give sweet potato vines to the chickens. We'll give them to the rabbits. We could eat them. I'm not going to, but I could. I just don't really want to right now. But yeah, it's gonna be a lot. Look, Pippin's golden honey just showing out. All right, so that's it for now. But like, there's just something nice about a clean bed. You know what I mean? All right, guys.